Hi everyone and welcome to today's card creation. I'm here on behalf of WOW. I'm going to be using some Pinkfresh Studio stamps and some dies as well. Now I absolutely love this Fleur 1 stamp set. It's a big 6x8 stamp set, lots of different types of florals. Very beautiful to play with. I'm going to heat emboss this largest floral image here with the WOW embossing powder ultra slow clear ink. This is really great because it gives you the wiggle room time to press your stamp, lift up, and then put your stamp, ink pad away, and still be able to stick the embossing powder on, and it has quite a good stick to it. Now I'm embossing on watercolor cardstock here. We're going to be doing some watercoloring, and I'm pretty much performing CPR on this watercolor cardstock just to make sure I get a good impression. Probably, you know, you wouldn't have to put that much pressure if you use a Misty, and if you notice you missed a spot, you could restamp it. I think it just came down to convenience with this, that's all. So I had it already on the clear matte block. So I've got some metallic platinum in Superfine. I love this metallic platinum. It's almost like a very muted silver. It's got this metallic sheen to it. It's beautiful. It's quite a classy color. I really enjoy heat embossing and creating cards with this embossing powder, especially the Superfines for fine details like this particular stamp set. So just heat embossing using my WOW heat tool. Making sure it was good and hot, ready to go, and just making sure I'm covering all angles and that all the heat embossing is captured and heat set with this image. Paying close attention that I got to every image, every detail, purely because it's such a detailed stamp. So I've got my Gansai Tambi watercolors here. I'm going to go and pull pretty much the rainbow colors out. The theme for the WOW embossing fan page group monthly challenge is rainbow. So because of that, I've pretty much watercolor with a rainbow palette. I am no means a watercolor colorist at all. I pretty much just went to town, heat embossing, painting, and with no particular rhyme or reason, method, technique, apart from just placing a lot of color down and going in rainbow order as much as I can. I have yet to learn a lot. I'm still always learning and always evolving with my techniques, and you know, watching a lot of YouTube, you know, binge watching people like Sandy Olnock, Kelly from W+9, just so many people are just inspirational, and I just pretty much binge watch when I can, you know, around being a full-time mum and worker, you know. So just adding a lot of color. I'm very heavy-handed with the water here because I really kind of wanted the colors to almost melt into each other without trying to cause a murky browny color. So you know, I paid attention to a couple of spots where I'm doing it. If I wasn't happy with any of the color merging, I would just use a paper towel and dab, but trying to, you know, make sure I'm spreading the colors and the assortment of colors around as much as I can. So once I've put as much color as I can on this image, it will change a lot. Like, I'm putting color down, but I will actually pick up with a paper towel, spritz with water, and then pick up with a paper towel a little bit later on. So there's really, as I said, no special technique to this. So now spritzing heavily and letting that color pretty much move into each other as much as I can, and picking up any excess water that I feel that could be a little bit murky and a color that I really don't want, like brown. Really, to be honest, didn't want browns. And then if I feel like at any stage I need to add particular color anywhere else, I just pick up some extra pigment from my paints and add them on. But as I said, there was no particular order or strategy apart from just placing color down and just really enjoying this process. And I do love when the colors spread. I think it's almost like a magic, and let them do their own thing. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And you can just see me fiddling around with the color as much as possible. And this is really out of my comfort zone to do this. I am stick within the lines colored person, but I really wanted to experiment here and just enjoy this process. Now I'm going to, encourage the drying process with my heat tool. Now, once I was happy with the amount of color I added, I use my Copic color in cool gray here and just literally go around all the edges of the whole stamped image. So it's all just around the edges, and it's almost bringing and popping that image up away from the cardstock and just making it stand out that little bit more. So this process is a little bit lengthy, but as you can see as I trace it, how much that image actually comes forward and to the forefront. So I do find though, you've got to make sure your watercolor image here has to be as dry. I noticed that when it wasn't dry, my Copic color wasn't working to its full potential, so I had to just scribble it to the side, make sure I need to heat set it again. But that's the image pretty much as I could, and then I just try and take note of any do-overs, I suppose, or any bits I missed, because it is quite a detailed image. So as I said, this is something new for me, this technique. I've never done it before. I had watched Kelly on YouTube. I'll link to her YouTube channel below. I really enjoyed watercoloring. As I said, I didn't do this as justice as what Kelly had done with her techniques, but it's all part of the learning process. Looks like up front with the shimmer as well of that metallic platinum, and I've just foam mounted that on natural ivory cardstock, and it's top folding. Now using the stamped image, the Belief Sentiment from a separate Pinkfresh Studio stamp set, I'm just going to heat emboss this with Ebony Black. This is a primary color, Superfine, really great for detail, and I'm going to heat set on Vellum. And the reason why I chose Vellum is I really didn't want to lose too much of the watercolor image by placing this thick striped vellum over the top, this strip. So that's why I chose Vellum. So I didn't lose too much of my images that I worked hard watercoloring before. Not really, but you don't want to waste what you had colored, and so that's why I chose Vellum. And then I've just used some glue dots just to adhere this down. So behind some of the floral images there, I've just placed glue dots on, and just so that helps adhere that down. Now this Believe stamp set has add-on sentiments as well, which I'll stamp on the inside. I've got some cat Scrappiness sequins here. I've just recently purchased those little sequence holders, and I am loving it, and I'm finding because of that I'm actually using my sequins more often. Now once I've placed the sequins on, I actually stamp the add-on sentiment directly on the inside of the card, just to continue on with the beautiful sentiment. And I will place that stamp set up on my blog so you get to see how beautiful this stamp set actually is. And because it's got some extra floral images in that, I actually also stamped using my VersaFine Onyx black ink. It's my favorite go-to ink, especially for details and sentiments. Now just adding the little actual leaves that came along with this stamp set. It is such a delicate stamp set and sentiment, and so is the main image as well. You can see here I'm so undecided when I make this card, and that stamping on the inside. So there is my card for today. I hope you enjoyed today's card creation. Now this is a rainbow theme card, so come and play on our Facebook monthly group. We've got a fan page there where you can submit your work on a monthly basis to be in the running for some gift cards. So thanks for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.